So this video will probably be 5 minutes long. Gold, silver, uranium, we'll cover it all real quick hitting. I've got business out of town. Likely I won't even be able to make another video until Friday, if not even Saturday, you guys. So I really just wanted to kind of do a little quick tidbit on today's price action as it relates as a kind of a follow-up to the prior video and see if things are panning out. And to be honest with you, I think they are already. You're getting relatively low volume across the board, across commodities. But the price is going the right way. The thing is that I think this is ultimately just a setup. All right, I think this is just a setup to come touch something like the 50. All right, and then you will likely come back and double bottom. All right, and I think that this is totally good and totally fine. But to put it in this perspective, let's say I'm right. Let's say that happens. Let's say you roll over tomorrow and you come all the way back to the trend. I just want to put it in a perspective for you that that's 15% of downside from here, okay? And what that means is that you can sell up to 15%. You have that much downside and just hit the trend line. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. It's bad if you start breaking it and coming down. Yeah, that's bad. But just coming down and kissing it, that's what you're supposed to do. That's what makes it a trend line, right? You come down, you kiss it, and you leave. So what's the problem? So I just want to put this in this perspective for you guys that that's how much downside you may have depending on what it is just to touch the trend line. All right. And this is why I encouraged a bit of a swing trading or, a reallocation of funds once you got up here. Right. And this will kind of flush you up with cash, kind of, get rid of those weak bags that you might have, those bad decisions, and get ready for the potential that you might come back down. Right. And even if you don't, even if you break on through, well, then congratulations, your whole portfolio is going up anyway. And now you have some cash to just sit on. Right. You could be comfy anyway. It's kind of like you can't lose. And remember, guys, we've been talking about the confluence in commodities for a long time. Right. We spotted that months ago. And once you saw it, it was very easy to track. And that really helps you to see all this thing flushing out. Especially when it all rides together. And so when you see them hitting these major trend lines at the exact same time, despite the broad markets being out of sync with these same kind of trend lines, this is extremely important. This is really good. It's very encouraging, especially when, for example, in the week prior, when you get green weekly candles as the broad indices are setting new lows and going into bear markets. Guys, this is really good. This is what you want to see. However, keep it in mind that, like I've been saying, I suspect that this is just a setup. You're getting brought up so that on the next fear-induced sell-off, you have room. You have all this space where you can just sell off again with the broad markets. I mean, look at First Majestic. If it were to fall straight down, that's another 10% drop. That's not insignificant, right? So as it's becoming, painfully apparent of what the first target is, right? The first real meaningful target on these indices, right? Right here, staring you in the face. The things we like have room to fall. The things we like are still holding uptrends and bull channels. After all that selling and after all that emotional stress you went through, we did all that just to kiss the trend and go back up. You understand? Does that put it into perspective for you? Does it put it into perspective for you to see that if the broad market rolled over and we sold off with it, we could sell up to 15% and do nothing but kiss the trend line? That's what you're supposed to do, is kiss that trend line, right? 15% of selling, and it doesn't even matter. You're not even breaking a trend, so keep it in perspective. Just be cool as a cucumber, like I say, because everything's going exactly the way it's supposed to go. It's just the markets and the media and the headlines are, it's like the S&P's going to 1,000. You better get out now. I'm like, no, it's a bunch of nonsense. It's just nonsense. Identify the space you're in, the reasons why you're in it, right? But also identify the macro and what's happening and why that's happening and why that's important and where it's all going next. And it's all bullish. As long as you don't break these trend lines and any of these key things, right? Especially in the big names, then what's the problem? Accumulate as much as you can. Just keep going, baby. It's going to be all right. I promise.